Yay, we're live.
This is going to
Good.
be renamed the Shenanigan Cafe.
Stop it.
That's what this. Holy shit! The Shenanigans.
Stop. Good morning, humanity. I got froth today. Can you see it? Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
It's good coffee today.
I haven't tried it yet. Let's see. Well, it's not really hot, but
That's because of all the shenanigans we've been through here to get to where we are. It's the Shenanigan Cafe. That's what it is.
yeah. Well, let me take a sec here. We'll give it time. Oh, 4 people. Okay.
Hi, 4 people.
I have to just make sure it's shared on the group. Anyway, I know it's been a couple weeks. Hi, guys. We had good intentions to
Continue with the Shenanigan Cafe
while we were traveling.
Just doesn't work out sometimes.
Just didn't
like
quite
that,
work
so.
out that way. Yeah, it didn't quite work out, but that's okay.
Max Flex.
Max Flex, yeah. Yeah, we went to Calgary and visited our Braddies.
Yes.
Braddie number 1 and number 3.
We've named them so in order of their age. And officially we have 4 Braddies.
We do. And we love them all.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Quirks and all. Yep. Okay. Okay. Phone ringer is shut off. I do believe. I don't have my glasses. Okay. Why are you doing that? You've been doing that lately, like the last few weeks. This is Kevin's new thing. He's like,
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
See?
Hey, talk while I do this. Come
Shenanigans.
on.
It's
It's
just
not shenanigans.
friggin' nothing but shenanigans.
I'm just trying to make sure that it's where it should be. Okay.
It's
There we
not
go.
perfect.
It's never perfect. That's for damn sure.
Oh, well, that kind of rolls right into exactly what we wanted to chat about.
What? No. Was
It's
that
not-
planned or something?
It's not perfect. How
Yeah.
about I'm not perfect?
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about that is everyone has their own idea of what perfect is. It's usually based on some,
Speak up, Kevin.
hey,
You're
that's
not
perfect.
You're not enough speaker right now. At volume, I mean. Speak up.
Again, everything's showing me how I'm not good enough.
Yep. Always. Just never fails, does it?
Man, oh man.
It never fails, but I always fail. That's a tough
I'm
one.
going to bet.
That's a tough one.
Now, I'm going to bet that this is going to resonate with some people out there.
I'm going to bet as a 20-year therapist, mind body practitioner, whatever you want to call me, that it's going to resonate with 99% of people.
Oh, no, 0.999% as well. 99.999.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty.
So, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, Steve! There he is.
Hey, there he is.
Good morning, Steve. Good to see you here.
Sorry for the hiatus, but
Yeah.
life is life, and
We
we're just
actually-
Max Flex.
We actually had people asking us where we were. I'm like, wow. Our focus is soft. What does that mean? Does that mean too much light or not enough light? We kind of changed positions, and
We got
the
new
whole
chairs.
setup is different, and we did it all in a scramble in the last half hour.
Shenanigans, you know.
He did it because I was having a hard time dragging my ass out of bed this morning.
Shenanigans.
Good trip west.
Yes.
Yes, it was a good trip west. Yeah.
Set the stage for another trip west.
Yeah, it did. That's why we weren't able to do much visiting this time around. So we weren't, we certainly weren't driving to Fort Mac where there were fires,
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
know.
Yeah, camera focus is soft or low resolution. You think that's the lighting? Maybe it's the lighting. We need a little less light, I think.
More light.
No, I think it would be turn it down.
Hmm.
Did you just turn it up?
Yep.
No, I think you need to turn it down. It's actually blinding me. Hurry up.
Blinded
By the light. Let's go.
Well, maybe we just get closer. I don't know.
Maybe. No, light is good. Okay.
All right.
So close, yet so far away.
The fucking shenanigans that we have to go through to get this thing up here. Oh,
All right.
my goodness.
Oh my God, I can't even get my hair right.
How's my hair? How's my hair?
Kevin literally dragged me out of bed to do this. It was a rough night last night.
Actually, that drag.
Well, it was a rough night last night. We all have those rough nights, you guys.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so as said, she can see us just fine.
Okay, that's what matters.
Thank you. We will take that as we're good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Shenanigans are
Yes.
now officially done.
Let the light shine. Absolutely, Steve. We're trying. Trust me, we're freaking trying.
Right.
Okay.
But one thing we want to mention is because we've come across it quite often,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
not just with other people, but ourselves too.
Yeah.
And that is the concept of I'm not enough.
What,
Well, just
you're not enough, or I'm not.
You're
enough?
not enough.
Am I enough?
No, it's the mental limitation. It's like saying the human condition, right? Is that we're starting off at a baseline with fucking problems.
You need to like unpack that a little bit. Starting off at a baseline with effing problems.
Yeah.
All right. What exactly does that mean?
Well, what that means is I want you just, and I'm just gonna mention, and this is just my opinion, right? If anybody has ever bothered to take a look at the concept of the human condition, right? There are, just leave the mic.
Okay.
The mic is fine.
I just wanted to be
The
sure.
keyboard is, the camera's fine. It's enough.
But maybe I'm not feeling like it's enough. Okay, sorry. I interrupted. Carry on.
No, but if you look at, there's, for centuries, probably millennia, people have been philosophizing about what this human condition is.
Yeah.
Right? And they've had focus groups, and they've had, they've probably done it over a bunch of weed and or whatever. And
Mushrooms.
well, maybe some shrooms, peyote, whatever.
Yeah.
The human condition.
Yeah.
But I want just take for a moment and think about those three little words in the order in which they are placed. Okay? Think about that. Because I think about what I think about that. Because when we consider those three words in that order, they're in that order for a reason.
The
human condition.
I didn't know we were going to talk about the human condition.
No, we're not. And this is just a lead in here,
Okay.
because this is about a baseline of limitation on the human psyche that is going to bring us into the idea of I'm not enough.
Right.
So think about that.
Right.
It ties specifically into that. So if humanity has a condition placed on it,
Right from birth.
right out of the gate, even in freaking soul land, right? And before, well before, millennia, right? The human condition. You think that to be human, or if you are human, you have a condition. Being human is a condition.
Being human means you are
And what do we associate a condition with?
a problem.
Instantly, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not, a condition of light. It's not a condition of
No.
happiness and joy. No, it's a condition. Well, what condition does he have? Well, he's human.
So that's a problem?
So you see?
How is that a problem, being human?
Because what happens is our mind is wired to look for problems, right? It's wired to look for threats, because of our innate need for survival, etc.
Yeah.
But when you consider the idea, and this is just there's a baseline that all humans have a problem. We're flawed. Right from the fucking beginning, we're flawed by the placement of a term like that. The human condition. There's no wiggle room anywhere in that. And people have philosophized, and there's acceptable definitions of what the human condition is, and it relates to bullshit like the conditions that we live in and this and that, which is absolute garbage because everyone is living in different conditions, right? We know we're all doing the best we can with what we have, right? And those are the conditions.
Do you realize that
physical conditions
on the camera, like on the screen, it's looking like I'm above you, that I'm higher up than you? Look, our
Wow.
heights.
Maybe we got to tilt the screen
I don't know.
or lower your chair.
I hope that it doesn't make you feel like I'm standing over you.
Oh yeah, I'm standing under you. I don't understand that.
You do understand me because you are under me. Look at the screen. I'm higher than you.
Yeah.
So you're standing under me.
So
too.
shenanigans from the get-go. Right? Shenanigans. So if we're running around now think about this as a societal meme. Right? You're human and you have a condition. The condition is that you're fucking human.
Yeah.
Okay? Think about that.
How is being human a problem though, really?
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 If you're the deep state, it's a problem. A big problem.
Oh, Kevin, you just had to go there, didn't you?
No, but that's why be transhuman then?
Oh, and you're going there too.
So when we have this baseline limitation placed on us from the very beginning, even without our consent or anything,
yeah,
right? Think about what that's going to lead into. That's going to lead into more limitations because that energy is there.
Steve, I love that. I'll put that up on the screen, actually. That's funny.
I love it.
Well, you came to the right place, Steve, because we're going to be able to help you to come to a conclusion about what that condition is, about what your condition is. We hope. I don't know. I might not
Are you
be
human?
enough.
I don't know.
I might not be good enough to be able to do that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try damn hard. Oh, we're being bad.
Well, but I mean, there's no point in sitting around chatting about the human condition.
Well, that's what
Let's
we're doing.
Just fucking get rid of it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Take action.
Get rid of it.
Get busy.
Why can't I just be human? Why does it have to have a condition attached to it?
Why does it have to? I don't know.
Terms and conditions, folks. So guess what? Just out of the gate, you're fucking flawed. So
yeah,
just fucking get used to it. And
well, maybe it was the those entities, those beings that hybridized us with the, you know what I mean? Like before they brought us here on, like maybe they entered that into our psyche, our consciousness, or in our DNA to believe that we're not enough. I mean, it's possible.
So then, yeah. So what we've run across a lot of is, anytime we've ever worked with anybody, we like to get to root cause things and really the deep, deep, deep stuff.
Yeah.
And in doing so, what we usually find is that there are baseline limitations that people carry with them.
Most people.
Right? Most people carry with them. Things like, I'm not enough. And the language is different for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's the same shit. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable.
Yeah.
And whatever the word is or wording of it is for you, right? You to think about what you're thinking about. What will happen is that there will be evidence in your life.
Kevin in teacher mode, by the way.
No, but it's happened to me. I was there. I've been there several times.
Yeah, we all have.
Right? We all have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just whether or not we do anything about it. Because if we don't,
first step is acknowledging it.
Well, acknowledging and then getting to the deeper structure of it.
Because there's a lot of people that you might say, well, you don't believe you're not enough. Like the deeper structure of this surface level issue, because people will present the issue. Yeah, well, I'm having financial problems, or I'm pissed off at that person because he did that to me, or whatever it might be. And I mean, I just kind of see through that pretty easy. And I'm just sort of like, no, it actually goes deeper than that. And this is actually what it is. You don't feel loved. You know?
So
It's
the neat
usually
thing,
like,
the neat thing
oh
is,
shit, I got totally
yeah.
called out. Is that the word? Yeah, that's what I want to say. I got called out for that. Yeah.
And we've seen it so often, right? And if we hadn't experienced it ourselves, we'd still see it. Right. But we knew it was there. So we've dealt with those. We dealt with that shit.
Yeah.
Because this new time, I think, in human history is that we're moving we're moving into an age of empowerment.
If anybody that's listening right now, if you're feeling that too, like whether it be energetically or you're actually seeing changes happening in your world, you know, just evidence that things are really coming around. Like, for instance, for some people, the evidence that they're seeing is like on social media, right? They're seeing way more people waking up, right? Seeing more people that are actually coming sort of over to the other side because for whatever reason, because of late, like in the last 6 months, year, whatever, maybe 3 or 4 years. But we don't need to talk about that. But you know, that people are really going, oh, damn. Oh yeah, because they're seeing more and more and more negative impacts from the things that happened during these last few years, right? So it's undeniable at this point, I think, for a lot of people. So maybe for some people, you're seeing it on social media, where you're seeing friends on your social media that a couple of years ago wouldn't have been talking like that, and now they're just like, fucking government, they lied to us. You know, and it's just like,
yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to see everybody. The nail needs to hurt enough in order for some people to.
Yeah. And for some people, that's what it takes, is the nail hurting enough, right? Or sometimes too, it is easy if the issue doesn't seem to be directly impacting a person's life, then they'll be able to sort of remove themselves from responsibility for it, or being too emotionally wrapped up in it. They're just like, well, it's like, that's
it's
not
the
my
war
problem,
over there,
or,
right?
You know,
it's those people over there. It's
like,
not at my doorstep, but
metaphorically,
it's right at your fucking doorstep.
Yeah.
And it's at everyone on the planet's doorstep.
Yeah. So it wasn't just like people's bank accounts being frozen.
Yeah, those are catalysts sometimes,
or whatever in Canada. It's everywhere.
But anyway, I mean, everybody has their own moment in time.
That's more of a global issue that's going on, which, you know.
No, but right now, people have noticed that things are changing, and I firmly believe things have changed enough.
Yeah. At
the highest level, right? Because of some of the information that we're privy to, or are aware of, that if it wasn't happening at that level, we would be balls deep in, I don't know, pandemic number 5 or more,
possibly.
World War X. This climate fucking bullshit would be even ramped up even more. So I think if things were not changing at the higher level, plus with all the celestial energy coming into the planet,
there's a lot of things happening.
There's a lot of stuff, and it's a combination.
And then if you're tuned into those things, and not everybody's aware that what they're feeling is maybe, I don't know, some sort of cosmic juice that's coming through the ether and hitting the planet, and, you know, solar frequencies or whatever it might be. There's so many things
fucking
going
eclipse
on. Like, these things do impact us. We just aren't always aware of it, right? So I'm one of those lucky people that tends to be pretty tuned in, and I would say have a highly developed intuition. So these things just kind of, you know, are more apparent to me, I guess you might say.
15% battery's been charging all goddamn night.
I don't think it was plugged in right, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. So yeah, but the point is, the reason that we bring up we brought up the more global issues, because here's what we really want to talk about is the more individual issue, the more personal issue that each human being on this planet deals with, right?
So it
contributes to the whole.
Right. Can
Right.
you personally change what's going on a global scale?
Globally.
Like,
can you actually go over and like shut down the WEF, or, attend a UN summit, or...
So remember, we're about solutions. So
Yeah.
what we're looking at is this entire planet and the chaos that's going on around it. We have to start here.
Kevin, by the way, for people that are only listening, he's pointing to himself.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Right. We have to start with ourselves. So that's why we've started out with this idea of these, we call them linchpins.
Yeah.
Right. Because these underlying mental beliefs, whether you're aware of them consciously or not,
most people aren't.
Like 95% of our day is run by our unconscious mind.
Yeah.
And most of that is through our unconscious filters and limitations, and most of that shit isn't even ours.
Well, and an easy example of that is the rote activities that we do every day. Driving our car. Do you actually think about how to press the gas pedal, how to press the brake? No, you just do it automatically, right? That's all unconscious. That's just an example, but it's true.
Growing your hair.
Yeah.
Well, right? Or fingernails. Right? Or beating of your heart. You're aware of that stuff?
Although you can do those, you can take charge of those things too, but we're not talking about that right now.
No, but the point is that most people have this underlying, I want to call it the shackles, right? Or the millstone, where we start with terms like the human condition. Oh, you have a condition because you're human. But then what you do is you stack, and what we've done over time, even like generationally, is we've stacked these ideas of I'm not good enough. I'll never be enough.
Yeah.
I'm not lovable at all. Who the fuck would ever love me? Et cetera, et cetera. So these to us are very, very deep level baseline limitations.
Because here's the thing. I'm going to mention, I don't know if anyone here is aware of Dr. Gabor Mate. I really like Gabor. I mean, some things I'm just sort of like, but he's a good guy, and he really has done great work. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try my damnedest not to screw this quote up from his book. And I think it was from which book? I think it was The Myth of Normal. I think that's where this came from. But anyway, he talks about how this is all in alignment with the human condition, I think, or the original sin, or whatever. We won't even. We aren't going there right now. But the thing is what he says in, I believe in that book, was our original shame that we all had as very, very young children, maybe even babies, is that we can't please our parents. That's our original shame that every single individual has, whether they're aware of it or not. And that's that we can't please our parents. So realistically, how many people, we're all adults here, how many of us, if we were really honest with ourselves, still feel that sort of limitation, that emotional connection to the reality that we never pleased our parents?
Or could never measure up.
Could never meet their expectations, weren't able to make them happy, whatever it might be. And I would venture a guess. I mean, I'm just kind of like putting this out there, that maybe, just maybe, that's a whole lot less about you and a whole lot more about them.
However, when we dig deeper than that,
yeah,
because there is a deeper than that.
Yeah.
That is a specific me and parents.
Yeah.
There's something even deeper than that. And that is, I'm not good enough. Because
I'm not enough.
I'm not enough.
Period.
Or good enough or lovable.
Yeah.
Because when we dig deeper, and we have to go deeper, because these linchpins, once we pull them, right, once we actually get rid of them, it frees up a shit ton of energy.
Oh yeah.
So
the whole stack of cards, and that means all the different layers of beliefs and problems
that were
that we've
supported, that were based on the foundation of.
Yeah.
And here's an example.
Yeah.
So an example is we worked with a guy in BC. This was in Vancouver. And this would have been 2012, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Awesome guy, friend of ours.
Yeah.
And he had some issues around money. So
who can relate to that?
So we started in on a dialogue of his beliefs about money.
Yeah.
And I think after we were done the dialogue, it was 12.
Yeah.
12 limiting beliefs about money.
Now, just to frame it up, he was one of these guys who was like super spiritual, and he was very conscious, and you know, he he didn't believe that money should be important and all these things.
But of course, living in Vancouver,
right? Where you have to be money focused or you're broke as shit because it's so damn expensive to live there. And running a business. He was running a business, trying to run a business as well.
So anyway, we got to these, dozen limited beliefs about money. And when I sat and looked at them, there was I think there was two that really stuck out, because for me, these were the deeper structure. This was the deep structure of the rest of the beliefs. Yeah. So I said, let's deal with these first two. And what happened is that I again, it was 2012, so that's 12 years ago. I'm just trying to think what they were.
I'm quite amazed that he remembers all these details. It's just
what we did is we pulled those linchpins.
Yeah.
Right. So with the timeline, I don't remember
what it was though. I don't remember what the actual belief was. That was that linchpin that made the whole stack of cards fall down.
I'm not worthy to be wealthy.
It was I'm not enough, basically.
So that's I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. I'm not worthy of prosperity or wealth, or whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
Right. So when we pull that out, and people end up through the process having a different perception of that. Because everything starts at a point.
It's pretty instantaneous, though. When
it's pretty cool to see, and then once we did that, we just let that sort of settle in and integrate, and then I showed him the list. I said, "Tell me what's now true."
He said, all the list of all the limiting beliefs that we had written down based on what he was saying. Yeah.
So once the linchpin was gone, it was, that's not true. That's not true anymore. That's not true anymore. Yeah. That's not true anymore. Now, maybe there's something. So that's the other one we dealt with.
Yeah.
But what happened is that the house of cards came down.
Yeah.
Because the foundation was changed.
Yeah.
So when we look at going into this new reality that we're moving into.
Yeah, which we are, by the way, you guys.
Yeah. So it's super exciting. Yeah. This new reality that we're moving into.
Yep.
Where we're starting to take more responsibility for ourselves.
As humans,
As humans, we're starting to change the focus in our minds of how we interact with everybody.
We are maturing.
And the planet and everything else.
Yeah.
One thing that's going to be critical moving forward is this idea of pulling our own linchpins.
Yes.
Because when we show up and we are the best version of ourselves,
then the planet can be the
change.
Best version of itself.
Exactly. Everything else changes. So we learned, we knew this a while ago, is just a confirmation on the math, because we're in this energetic soup, sea, whatever you want to call it. It's the field. We're in the field.
Yeah.
And like science has finally caught up to this reality, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. We should share
for those people that need the scientific proof.
Maybe I'll share some links in the comments or in the description once this gets posted, like, once the live is done.
Yeah.
For some really amazing,
powerful shit.
Powerful
explanations of things.
Presentations. Oh my goodness. Amazing.
The neat thing about this is that the math has, or science and whatever, because a lot of us, we've been programmed to believe that follow the science, right? Or the guy with the white coat is the guy in charge. He must know, right? What?
Speak up.
I'm
Go-
speaking exactly fine.
Okay.
Okay? It's fine. Totally fine.
But I don't know. It doesn't feel like enough to me.
Okay, well, we're working on that. Because these shenanigans have got to go. It's good enough. It's fine. Right? But what the math turns out is that
You
this
say
field, so this field, right? And if people don't know the field, it's time to get acquainted to the field.
Yeah, because you kind of are the field.
You are the field and you're in the field.
Yeah.
But the neat thing is that our consciousness can affect the field to produce material effects, like actual effects that we can measure and see.
Yeah.
And these experiments and readings and whatever have been done for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah. It's not new information.
Meditative
It's just-
experiments.
Mhm.
And there's all kinds of them, but the one important one that I usually sort of
we're supposed to be talking about how we're not enough.
right. But
Yeah.
this is how we change. When we change ourselves, we can affect the field.
Okay.
In order to help change the energy and the energetic signature within the field, that's then going to help other people have permission to do the same work. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we only need actually because we need to talk about solutions as well, right?
Right.
So not only do we have to work on ourselves, but when we do that work ourselves, which is the most important work that we can do, doing that work affects the field, which then, and we've seen evidence of this personally in our lives, is that when we do the change, right, people around us are then given energetic permission to treat us differently.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of cool.
And that's all perception is projection and all that kind of fun stuff.
But we only need, as humans in the field, to affect the field, we only need the square root of 1%. The square root of 1%.
This is what they've determined mathematically.
Mathematically,
right? Which is
to affect the
interesting.
field. So going into the ideas of these meditative experiments, they did an experiment in the 90s in Washington, D.C., where they brought in trained transcendental meditators for a weekend. And it was a completely planned experiment. And they wanted to see whether or not these folks who would sit and meditate in a shift schedule, I believe, whether that would affect the environment, like locally. And they found a 23% reduction when these people were meditating on peace, love, and harmony.
Yeah.
Right. There was a 23% reduction in violent crimes. And they could not account for the change in any other way.
No, because they've done it more than once too, and different places, and they've had similar results every time they've done it, which is kind of that's a pattern, right?
So the square root of 1%, think about that.
That's not very much.
So
actually.
Take the population of your given area and do the math.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the square root of 1% for 8 billion people, that only works out to 8,944 people.
Because of course Kevin did it.
Of course, I had to do the math.
He did the math. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to put that into a calculator anymore.
So less than 9,000 people on planet Earth with the same intentions can affect the physical field that we all call reality.
But now here's where we might have an issue with people being able to do that, is they may believe that they're not enough. That they're not strong enough, they're not powerful enough, they're not good enough, not smart enough to be able to even have an impact on what we're talking about on the field, right? So this is what we're trying to get at, is that we've got these global issues, we have
local issues,
more regional and issues, we have very personal local issues that we need to be working on, because it does impact the field, whether we're aware of it or not. It does. We are all connected. This is not just us rambling. This is proven. This has all been proven. This is all true. And we certainly are not the absolute experts on all this.
I haven't done the research, but people
No.
that I know,
Yeah, we follow people
and
that have.
people that we have learned from have
Yeah.
done the research and continue to do the research.
Yeah. By the way, Greg Braden, what a great
Mhm.
resource. Oh my goodness.
And
you guys.
Nassim.
Whew. And Nassim Herman. I always say
Bruce
his name
Lipton,
wrong.
like all these
Yeah,
folks.
they're all great guys. They've
Yeah.
all done good work, you know.
Joe Dispenza.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots
This
of
is the
people.
science. This is the real science.
The real science, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not based on lies and
It's not based on
limitations.
agenda. Imagine
Not
that.
based on agenda. Yeah.
Why don't we just study things, and whatever the results are, we just sort of
accept them?
Okay, if we
Yeah.
can replicate the experiment and we get the same results, well,
Yeah.
now we're on to something. Well, let's do it a third time. And
Well,
a fourth.
part of the issue though with all this science, right, is that it's actually it's been co-opted by those
But it's been paid for by those that have agendas.
Yeah, by those who have the money,
Mhm.
right, and give them the funding for their projects. But a lot of results end up being hidden, or just kind of, oh well, we'll just put that at the bottom of
Skewed.
the stack or the end of the medical journal, so nobody can actually read that. The truth, right? So this is unfortunate, but yeah, Steve, you're not the only one. Lots of people have been blinded by the science. But I mean, the thing is that still, again, right, we want to chunk it down, these big global problems that are up here that we're all dealing with. It doesn't matter if you're Canadian, if you're Iranian, if you're Egyptian, if you're Australian, we all have the same problems, right? Generally speaking, we do. There's these global problems, we all have them. And you know why? Because interpersonally, inside, we all have the same problems. I've seen it. We've worked with thousands of people from different parts of the world. We all have the same problems. It does not matter what language you speak. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're a multi-bazillionaire, and we work with them too. We all have the same problems.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
Imagine walking into a psychiatrist's office or psychologist's office or psychotherapist's office or one of those types of folks.
Yeah.
Those ones that are kind of been, indoctrinated into the Freudian model of I'm a coke addict and people need to come and see me for 300 visits at least before we even start scratching the surface.
Well, they were creating an industry. That's
100%
what
you do.
When you're trying to create an industry,
for sure.
That's gonna.
But can you imagine walking into one of these folks' offices? So what's your problem? Well, I have a condition. Well, I have a condition. Well, what's that? I'm human.
Well, yes, I know you're human, but what else? Like,
no, what's your problem? I have a condition in that I'm human. Can you help me with that?
Well, but I know you're human, but what's your problem though?
I'm human. That's my condition. Can you help me fix it?
Mentally insane. Done. You need this drug. There's something wrong with you because you're questioning being human. Imagine that.
But anyway, it ties right. Like the thing is that there's this baseline bullshit, right? There's this baseline bullshit on our psyche. And in order for us to truly move into this new world, new age, light, the age of light, and new earth, however you want to see it or feel it, is we have to do this stuff on our own. We have to do this work for ourselves.
The interpersonal work is key.
It's critical.
It's critical. It's essential to us making the shift on a more global scale, right? Because I know
that work affects the field.
Because it does. That's right. And so here's the thing. We know that there's lots of people that are well-intentioned. We know that people truly want change. They'd like to see a new world. They'd like to, they know
what they don't want.
Yeah. Most people focus on what they don't want, unfortunately, instead of focusing actually on what they want.
And guess what they're getting?
Which is a totally different experience of the deal. But let me finish my thought while I have it. Sometimes they just kind of float off into the ether if I don't get them
affect
out.
the field.
Affect the field. So, see, now I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, that everything still needs to come down to what's going on inside us. Okay, I say inside because it's not really inside, it's actually all this. But anyway, the point is that we can't go into trying to create this new world if we're filled with rage, right? We can't actually make a positive impact on helping to create this new world if we're coming from a place of hate.
Hate has no place here, folks. But I hate you for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this actually is science, and it's been proven. So we're not the scientists. We're just speaking from the level of our own personal experiences as humans who have faced our conditions, and also helped, hundreds, if I know at this point it's thousands of people over the last 20 years, right, to face theirs as well. So the thing is that it comes from lots of experience, I will say that, so that we can speak to. But the point is this, is that we need to move beyond, we need to transcend, right, those negative emotions that tend to come up as we awaken to the truth, right? Because it is very disheartening to find out that your entire existence has been a lie.
It's been a fucking lie.
That all of our history, like most of it, has been written in a way that is not true. So in order to create that sort of foundation, right, for this agenda that they have been perpetrating on us for
planetary takeover.
I can't even say how long. It's been a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that when people learn that, we've seen it, and we've been through it ourselves a long, long time ago, where when you first learn about this stuff, you get upset, you're angry, and you're sad, and you're mad.
All the emotions come to the front.
Everything.
Tell us about your experience seeing Thrive for the first time, dear.
Yeah, when I watched Thrive, that was back in 2011.
2011.
Yeah, and that was like cognitive dissonance. Oh my goodness. Well, no, I was very accepting of it. It's just it made me sick, physically ill. Kevin was out of town working, and I remember calling him and crying and just being like, I can't believe that they're gonna do all these things and they've lied, and I was just like going through all this stuff, and I got over it pretty quick. I mean, luckily we've got some pretty powerful tools to help us to, process and integrate these kinds of things. But the thing is that it was a shock to my system that it was that evil. I already knew about the evil in the world. I already knew about a lot of these things, but to hear it presented in that way, it was like, what? What do you mean that they're willing to kill off the planet and put people in concentration or whatever you call it? Yeah, concentration prison prisons, basically, if they don't comply and so forth. So, I mean, it shocked me. Luckily, I got over it. But the thing is what we have seen time and time again is that people will only get to a certain level in their awakening, and they just kind of stick there.
It's like, oh, I can't.
I'm so mad. I don't know what to do. And this is the issue. That's why people need help working through and processing these truths, right, that are coming to them. It's coming at us now full bore. Like, I mean, the last few years, if you didn't feel it then, you is gonna feel it. You are gonna feel it. I'm telling you, it is coming at us, and we cannot deny it anymore. And whether we're ready for it or not, it's gonna slap us in the face and kick us in the ass on the way out the door. Like, it's coming. Right? It is.
But that's okay, because our perception, our perception is that serious change is upon us.
And we're not saying that this is a bad thing, that it's coming, but it's coming fast. We're just trying to prepare people that, we know that it's coming. So
no, we know it's here.
It's here. It is here.
The wolf is on the doorstep.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to get super clear in here.
Yes.
Right? We need to clear away this baseline limitation. Yeah. This whole concept of religion, and especially Christianity, because they talk about the fall, right? Mm-hmm. And people grab a hold of this concept.
Yeah.
And what that actually means is that you're not fucking good enough for fucking anything, right? Because you are born a fucking sinner, right? Yet this little child coming into the world, you're going to shackle that mentally and emotionally and spiritually with that bullshit right away because of your own beliefs. And this is why we say that a lot of the beliefs that we have aren't even our own.
No, and this is
right.
the
We've
thing.
been led to believe certain things.
Yeah.
Right. And we've been energetically surrounded by that belief.
Yeah.
For our entire lives.
Well, then it becomes a generational
and it just
thing,
continues.
a generational belief that gets passed down through the generations, even unconsciously. We're not saying that people are consciously being like bad people, or, you know, parents don't mean to subject their children usually to, you know, to these negative emotions and limiting beliefs.
But again, they're only doing what they've learned.
Yeah.
So this is why the cycle continues.
Yeah. So we need to be made aware of it.
When you cut into the cycle,
yeah,
you're actually able to stop it at an energetic level.
Yeah.
Right. And you can heal generational garbage.
Yeah, you can.
But when you think about this from a very
wait, let me get my coffee. Let's think about this. Let's think about this.
When you think about this from a very high level desire to control people's minds, would you not want to install in society the belief that people cannot do it on their own, or that they are inherently flawed to start with? So sort your fucking shit out. Right? Or guess what? We have the answer for your issues, and all you have to do.
Hold it. Who's we?
We, meaning the fucking deep state.
Oh, you're being facetious. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't following that train of thought. So
problem, reaction, solution, right? So the problem is, right, we're all flawed.
Yeah.
Right? We're all sinners. We're all fill in the friggin' blankers.
Yeah. That's what they intentionally put on us.
Right. These are the intentional shackles, the intentional limitations to our psyche.
Yeah. But when you take that here, I want to just add a piece to that. So you have that already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you add to that environmental
everything,
things like when a baby is in the mummy's womb, feels everything that the mom feels, every thought the mom has, that baby's feeling it. Doesn't mean they can understand it, but they're still feeling it. It's still impacting them and their development. Anything they hear around them. So you got to be careful about the environment that you're putting yourself in.
You don't think sound can go through the skin?
Yeah. It can. And then that baby gets born with all these different, all these different feelings and beliefs inside that it still doesn't have the cognitive development yet to be able to understand, but it's still there. And then it may play out later in life. And so, it's like, what a burden, right? That we put on our children unconsciously. Okay. We are not saying you're a bad parent because you were stressed when you were pregnant and maybe that child, presented symptoms of that even as a baby. Because it can happen. This is the way that this stuff works, right? So it's not about beating yourself up. Trust me. Every single parent on the planet doesn't believe they've done a good enough job, or questions it, or doubts it, or has this feeling inside that they weren't good enough. Oh, there's our topic.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what the context is.
That's right.
The context, choose a context. And I'm going to bet that there's probably evidence in your life about that context that still has the baseline, I'm not good enough.
Yep.
I'm not a good enough parent. I'm not a good enough husband, wife. I'm not a good enough mechanic. I'm not a good enough student, teacher, citizen, like human.
I'm not good enough to even be loved.
Because I have a condition.
Yeah.
It's a baseline. So this is why we say we have to get to the deeper structure, because you might be dealing with one specific context.
Yeah.
Right. And that context may be in terms of a relationship or business and success and money and
Yeah,
whatever.
because it filters out into
filters
all
out.
these different areas of life. It doesn't matter where the original belief may have come from of I'm not good enough, which I think we're kind of, giving you an idea of how these things may have worked into our systems. But the thing is we got them, and then they can play out in any area of life,
Mhm.
This deep-seated,
That's just the evidence that you end up
underlying,
seeing.
I'm not enough,
Mhm.
So honest to God, I can't even tell you, we can't even begin to tell you how radically it changes a person's life when they let that go. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It is amazing. It's unbelievable to see. Yeah.
And for this transition into this new world, we need all hands on deck, folks.
We do. We all need to be doing our part.
We need much more than the 9,000. We're there without question.
Oh,
like
we're way beyond
multiples
that.
of that.
But you know what? There's still people who don't believe we are, who don't realize it. We were in Calgary last week, and we went to have a chiropractic treatment and talking to the secretary. Luckily, they're very awake, these people. Thank goodness. It was like, for us, it was a pleasure to speak to them, because like, yes.
But it was even more so for her.
Yeah, because the gal I was talking to, the secretary, she literally did not know that there were a lot more people that thought like she did and saw the world like she did, which is like we do.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, like she really didn't know. And I'm like, oh, well, you need to add me on Facebook and we need to be chatting and I'll put you in my group. And, she was just like, oh, I'm so thankful. Like, I really, really didn't know that more people existed like us. It's like, oh dear, there's way more people that think like we do than you could even begin to imagine. That's why we need to come together, because we're kind of all over the place. And there's so many of us that don't even realize that there's more.
So the nice thing is, and this is one of the unfortunate things about human psychology, is that, and not that we're like the ultimate experts in this, but it's just an observation, is that think about this in context with the idea of I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. If this shit is playing out in your unconscious mind, and now all of a sudden you've started something, we're going to start a group together, right? And man, like, from an intentional point of view, it's bang on the money. Higher intention. We want to, promote freedom. We want to empower people.
Make a difference.
We want to make a difference, right? We want to help wake people up, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then, the group, we're going to do the group and we're going to promote it and we're going to do cross-country tours and all this other crap. And then all of a sudden now, you and the other person that you started this group with now has some kind of, egoic or life condition that jumps in the way and says, now you start arguing, or someone calls somebody a name, right? And then someone gets triggered and it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Next thing, what happens? The group goes, whoop,
splits.
Or this group continues and this one, I'm going to start something new.
Yeah.
Right. And do that. So think about, if you're into this world, think about how many times. And it's interesting because there's the truth still at the top of all of that. And it's interesting. My brother has mentioned this before, and I've he's questioned it too. And it's like, how come think about this, how come there are so many denominations of Christianity? Think about that.
How come there are?
And I just use this in context because
I really don't know why. I don't know why
I know why. It's because I don't like those fucking rules. So I'm going to make my own thing, and I'm going to make my own rules over here. Right? There was some king somewhere in England that didn't want to get divorced, but the Catholic Church says you can't get divorced. So he created his own fucking religion.
Right.
Still Christianity, but these are my rules under Christianity. And like, what the hell? Right? So this is exactly history repeating itself in terms of us continuously choosing to splinter and divide ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is that the more divided we become, I would say that the more finer little details that we're focusing on, and allow that to be our segue into creating our own little group or little world.
One more shot.
Okay, a little bit more coffee. That's it. But the more chunk down we call it, the more chunk down we get into these finer little details.
That's the weeds, folks.
Then what we're doing is we're splitting off into all these
Based on the
different
weeds.
factions based on these tiny little details that divide us.
The weeds.
And instead of focusing, getting up higher, we say get up high, like chunk up, chunk up, until you get to the place where we all can agree.
We all want the same thing.
That we all want the same thing. We all have the same intention of wanting the truth and wanting to be free. However, we allow our unconscious selves, our unconscious programming, our limiting beliefs, our emotions that we have not dealt with. We allow those to muddy the waters, right? To pull us down into these
and we see it all the time, even in groups, well-intentioned groups.
Absolutely.
Well-intentioned, amazing people that are really truly trying to make a difference.
Yep.
And they're volunteering all their time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to respond to them because they ignored me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ignore them. It's like,
well, we need to get beyond this.
We've got to figure out how to get beyond this.
We do.
And it's interesting because a lot of the discussion right now around natural law and universal law and things like that about doing no harm, etc., has a mediative component to resolutions of issues.
That's a big word.
If we're not able or willing to participate in finding a solution, how are we going to get ourselves out of the fucking weeds, folks?
Oh my goodness. Like if we can't even come together at this level, oh my goodness, at this level, how are we going to come together up here, at this level? So, I mean,
well, you have to have willing participants.
You do.
Right. So whatever issues you're dealing with, maybe there's a way that maybe there's something that you can say and you can keep trying. Like I remember years ago, there was a clause that says mediation will be the first form of conflict resolution. No, we're not doing that anymore.
Nope.
Not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just chat about this? Can we figure out, even if we have to
just act like mature
adults? We just, even if we just bring someone that's impartial, that has no clue about what's going on, bring them in and just we'll chat, group chat, and then we'll try and figure it out.
Come to some solutions together.
Right. But instead, the system's been designed to be adversarial right from the get-go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. 100%.
That could be a whole other
That's another topic altogether.
Other episode.
The point is that if we can't work towards a different way of how we interact with each other,
how are we possibly going to create a new world that is not the same as the world that we're currently in and have been in?
Right. And we need to create the new before the old can disintegrate. Well, I mean, it's doing that on its own, but the point is that when we look at our own limitations of I'm not enough or I'm not lovable or fill in the blank, whatever context works for you, is that when we deal with that first, then we can do something different.
Yeah.
Because that's where it has to start
in here. It has to start with us.
We cannot look outside ourselves for the solution for how we feel. And this is the interesting thing about feelings is that, and I've said this before, he pushed my buttons, right? There's nothing anyone can say or do. Physically, they can produce harm. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But when they say something and you feel hurt, that's your fucking shit.
Well, you're feeling the hurt. And there's a reason.
Who's feeling the hurt? Not the person talking. You are.
Yeah.
Right? So it's your head, it's your feelings, it's whatever. That's your stuff, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah. But most often what people will do instead is they'll react to the person who they believe made them feel that way, and they'll blame them for how they feel.
Yeah. They ignored me first, therefore I'm going to ignore them now.
And that's not to say that the other person didn't maybe intend to cause some harm and didn't say something very, very harmful or very mean or whatever, or didn't do something that they
knew was going to push the
buttons.
Buttons.
I mean, we're not saying that all people are good and nobody ever does anything intentionally to cause harm. But however,
sometimes they do.
The thing is we're hyper aware of this, and we're also super cognizant of taking personal responsibility for why things are the way they are, or how things happened the way that they did, or, you know, like whatever situation we're in, we're always looking at how did we bring this on, or how is this us, right? Or what can we do to resolve that in ourselves first and foremost, because all we have control over is ourselves, and that's just a fact, right? Yeah. So, you know, people wonder what they can do to help contribute to bringing in this new world or this new earth.
Step one, look in the mirror for the solution.
Yeah.
Step two, deal with your shit.
Don't hold back, Kevin. Like, seriously, I really think that you need to like just stop holding back.
Okay.
Listen, there's no time for wasting at this point. Honestly,
yeah, all hands
we
on deck,
really
folks.
feel like if people want to get serious about this, then they got to be willing to look at their limitations. They got to be willing to deal with their emotions. You know, we have to be mature adults in this. We have to be able to manage our emotions, because if we can't, it's not going to work, and we are going to fall trap yet again. We are going to be allowing ourselves as a humanity, right, to continue to be controlled by nefarious actors that want to make us all transhuman. You know what I mean?
Take me to your leader.
I'm not interested. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in creating a transhumanist future. I'm not interested in being transhuman, and I'm not interested in living in a transhuman world, honestly.
Take me to your leader.
So, I mean, and this is like us going way up about, like, you know, what the real ultimate agendas really are, way, way, way up beyond money, by the way. But that's just, you know, that's just going to a different place. But the reality is here we are on Earth. Some people call this our 3D reality, you know, material world, you know, whatever you want to call it. I really don't care. The reality is we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are right here on this planet.
And we don't have a fucking condition.
We don't have it. Kevin refuses to believe we have a damn condition, which we don't. But if we believe we do, then
that's what it's about.
That's what we're gonna manifest in our lives.
If we believe it, it's gonna, whether you think you are or not, you're correct.
Yeah, that's right. So what we're suggesting is we could go on and on, honestly, because we've talked for, well, days and days and days and days and days inside our workshops about these things. But here's the reality, is that if you truly want to change the world, if you truly want to see this world transformed, transform yourself, right? You want to change the world, change yourself, and that changes the world. It truly does. It is so unbelievably powerful. If there's nothing else that you could possibly do to help create this new world, the best thing you could do is deal with your own personal stuff, right? Some people call it shadow work. Some people call it whatever you want. I don't care what you call it. There's a multitude of awesome tools out there that you can use to help you let that stuff go. I mean, that's why we do the work we do, because we knew when we started learning this work over a decade ago. Oh, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? Holy. That was the most important thing that we could do, is help people to be their best versions of themselves, which was going to have the greatest impact in the world. Right?
Yeah.
That's ultimately what it is. Because here's my mission in life, and I've known this for years now, but I know what my mission is for being on this planet, and it's to help end human suffering.
Yeah.
It's to help end it.
And mine is to bring people together, and that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Right. So on that happy note.
It is a happy note. Ending human suffering. Oh my goodness. Like, let's do it. Things, yeah. Oh my gosh, let's do it.
So we're doing something. We're going to have some more. We'll be back on the regular coffee time, so stay tuned.
Is there a regular coffee time?
Well, like every couple of days or so, you know.
Yeah,
Thursday,
we're still working the details out, so be patient with us, guys. We're still.
But again, I mean, it's max flex, right?
Yeah.
So we know that when we do come and share stuff with you guys, you're getting value, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But one thing that is now going to be scheduled is next. So this time, next week. So in a week's time, on the 6th of June, right?
But isn't there something bad supposed to happen on that day?
Yeah, another eclipse.
There's some
No.
big, like, people are preparing for some big happening on
Okay,
June
so the
6th.
world's going to end on the 6th.
Yeah,
just
which
so you know,
we don't buy into, by the way.
right? Which is a load of fucking garbage.
I don't know. There's something happening.
Right?
I don't know.
Because it's important that humanity stay in fear.
There's supposedly something big happening on that day that's supposed to be like hugely detrimental, but guess what? We're not going to even worry about any of that shit, and we're going to still do something positive on that day.
So on the 6th,
Yeah.
and is it going to be in the evening? It's the 8th.
It is in the evening.
8 p.m.
Yeah, Eastern time.
Eastern time, so 2000 hours Eastern time.
I know that's late for my
folks.
maritime friends and family, but you know,
it is what it is.
We're just trying to fit it all in with time zones.
So if you've been with us from the beginning of these chats, you know that Ava is a medium.
That's one of the things I do.
It's one of the things, not to pigeonhole anybody, of course.
No,
but that's just one of the
it's
gifts.
It's just a gift that I have. So
she is going to be opening up a online event.
Healing Intentions with Ava.
An online event for the 8 p.m. on the 6th of June. Put it in your calendar, wherever your time zone is.
Yeah.
We'll be having a Zoom not a presentation, but it's
a presentation.
Presentation / event. Right?
It's basically on death, dying, and grief, right? And I know that sounds sad and maybe makes people think, oh, that's no. I like to have fun too. And believe it or not, death can be a funny subject as well. So
as many people as you can share this with, please go for it. Connect with
you
us.
have to get a hold of me directly because
it will be
we're doing it this time.
It will be $20 a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
It normally would be more than that.
Yeah, but
we'll just do it for 20 this time.
First go around here.
Yep.
And she's been doing this for years, so
20 years.
Yeah. So $20 a person. Get a hold of us and we'll figure it out. There's lots of space.
And there is a possibility that during this session, that some messages could come through from the other side. I don't guarantee that for people because I'm not in control of that, right? So, but however, if it does happen, then
what we have
learned
is that if someone comes and joins us,
it's for a reason.
But if you're participating and you have an intention, a specific intention to connect with someone that you think you need to connect with, that just setting that intention, right, could materialize that experience for you.
So you can you could just DM me right here on Facebook. If you're seeing this on YouTube, then just put it in the comments that you'd like the information, and I'll get a hold of you directly. If you need to give me your email address, that could help as well.
Yeah.
All those kinds of things, right? We're just doing this very personally, like we're just keeping it. We want to keep it sort of in the community right now and just like intimate, keep it smaller. Like we're not looking to have like hundreds of people on this or anything like that.
But if that happens,
intimate.
Whatever,
well, then
it doesn't matter. It was just meant to be.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you'll get lots of value from it. I'll share lots of my experiences with communicating with the other side, which may surprise you.
And the cool thing is because we've been in and Ava's been in the, I don't like to call it the personal development space,
it's
but
way more than that.
Way more than that.
It's health and healing and wellness and everything.
There will be interjections
yeah,
of knowledge like that, similar to what we do here.
Intuitive life consulting, I guess, if I were to give it a word. I honestly don't like titles, so I don't, care to do that, but I'll just call it intuitive life consulting. And the thing with me is that I'm a little bit no bullshit approach. So I'm a little bit harsh. I've become a little harsh over the years, I've found. And I think it's just because I realize that I trust what I feel. And there's no questioning of what I feel anymore. It's taken a long time to have a lot of practice and a lot of years of self-doubt. Maybe believing that I wasn't enough. But that's no longer an issue.
Right.
But the thing is that I really don't believe in wasting time. For me, it's if anybody's coming to see me, it's because they're ready. They're ready. So honestly, if you're looking for someone who's just going to make it very gentle
Sugarcoat
and
things.
sugarcoat things and just kind of like, oh, it's okay.
This is Ava, the Hammer
It's
Shapiro.
okay. Kevin, jeepers, it's not that bad. Like,
Tell it
honestly,
like it is.
I just
But remember,
I just don't hold back anymore.
if it's time for you,
Yeah, if you're ready for the change, then that's definitely the place to be. And if you know, and if you want to,
text me, Steve, for sure.
if you want to
100%.
understand more about, you know, what happens after, you know, when we die and stuff, like, because I know I used to have a very, very horrible fear of dying, unreasonably horrible. It was terrible. And
so put it in your calendar.
A lot of people have lost that after they've had sessions with me.
So so put in your calendar. So the 6th of June at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Okay, and connect with us prior to that.
It has to be registered ahead. This is not something where people can just pop in like here on the live. Like
so connect with us ahead of time.
It's closed and private,
and we'll get the link to you for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
However that works.
And you know what? On the note of I'm not enough, and another way that you can move through letting that limiting belief go, it really helps when you have people around you to support you and love you and tell you, remind you that you're enough.
We're that for each other.
We are. Sometimes it requires an ass kicking. It's not always super gentle. We'll say that, Kevin.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know what? It works. It works for us, right?
Yeah. And I'm out of coffee.
I'm almost out, but you know what? That's okay. We could still end the session and yeah.
So on those happy notes.
And please share this too, by the way, guys.
For sure.
It should be, you know, like open enough that you can share it. And so you know where to find me. I'm all over Facebook.
Yeah, and I ain't, so.
Nice, Kevin.
But the other thing too, with regards to bringing people together.
Yeah.
Right, because of all the division that's out there.
Yeah.
Is we are diligently working on a project right now. It's a
don't tell no.
It's a personal passion.
Yeah.
Right now to have a space where people can come together finally.
Yeah.
In one place.
Yeah. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're not going to tell all of it right now.
We're not going to give all the details.
It's still just at the beginning.
We want to put this in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Because it needs to happen. We have to humanity has to join together. Finally.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want 8,000, we want 800,000, we want 800 million. Right? Nice. People, because this is massive shifts coming up here.
And you know what? I want to say one more thing. You know how we have evidence that there's way more of us on the planet than we realize. Here's and we'll end with this, right?
Yes, this is a powerful shift.
This is a powerful, powerful proof, right? That the change is happening, that way more people on the planet.
Truth.
They want truth. And that way more people are awake than even any of us could even fathom. Okay. Very simple example. Dr. David Martin. You guys should know who he is. If you do not,
shame on you.
But he did a presentation last fall, September or October, whichever, at the EU Parliament, where he divulged all these truths.
22 minutes of hammer time.
Yeah, where he has all the evidence, all the facts. Like this guy's so well backed up with the truth that they can't
ban him from YouTube because everything's factual.
They can ban him from Canada though, which they have.
So anyway,
but anyway, here's the cool thing. He told us that his video online of this presentation at the EU, right? Rumble. And it could be in other platforms by now. But anyway, that his video has been been viewed and downloaded 2 billion times. Was it 2 billion?
I'm sure I saw it was 2 or 4.
It was between 1 and 2. No, it was between 1 and 2 billion times. So
this is the most downloaded video in human history, folks.
That is huge, you guys. That is huge. And that's a huge indication that to me, that is proof.
That's proof that
there is a massive percentage of the world population that is seeking the truth. And having downloaded that video, that means that they were using that to share to more people, right? So, and we've done that. We had that video. We took it upon ourselves to find a translator to have that video translated into Spanish, proper Spanish, not AI Spanish, done by a person, and then put it online for the Spanish market so that people who are Spanish can hear this information because they're not getting it because they don't speak English. Right. So that was just something that we did months ago so that we could help to get it out there. Right. And by the way, I'm not taking credit for that 2 billion, but you know what? Stuff like that helps people reach 2 billion, so share that too, share that information. But the point is that the world is waking up. The world is waking up. And as we wake up, we need to be more cognizant of making sure that we are doing our own personal work so that as this world wakes up, as we evolve, as we ascend, if some people want to call it that, as we move towards this new earth, we need to be prepared for that. We need to raise our frequencies. And in order to do that, we got to let shit go.
Yep.
We just do. And that's just
so, Steve, I look forward to talking to you.
Yep.
For sure.
You know where to find us.
If you want to give me a call, that would be fine as well.
Yep.
I have something I want to run by you. So,
yeah,
100%. And on that happy note,
remember, at like 1:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6th of June, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Kevin,
be there or be square.
Talk about put pressure on me. Like, honestly, I'm just going to have my last sip of coffee.
Go for it. And there we go.
No more coffee. No more show. Anyway, thanks, you guys.
Till next time.
Share this far and wide, please, because we need to get this information out to people. And anything we can do to help, that's what we're here for. Yeah. And that's our mission, to help end human suffering and bring people together. So have a great day, you guys. Thanks again. And we shall see you on Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah. Whatever date that is. Maybe we will. If we do, we'll let you know.
Maybe we'll go shooting on Saturday.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we'll see you. We'll see you Tuesday, if not sooner. Okay? Tuesday-ish.
All right.
Okay. See you guys. Bye.